Everyone, good to be back again to this new month as we focus on forgiveness. And what an incredible aspect of our walk with the Lord. And without forgiveness, we would not be receiving the benefits of our salvation and all the blessings that comes as a result of the love of God that continues to be poured and shed in our lives. So this afternoon, I want us to read from Colossians chapter number 3 and the verse 13, reading from the New Living Translation. Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Can I read it one more time? Make allowance for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others. Now, one of the secrets of walking in forgiveness is recognizing that you're not doing it in your own strength, that you are able to forgive because you have been forgiven. And this scripture is encouraging you and I to lower sometimes the bar that we place on others, making allowance for each other's faults. Stop putting people on pedestals that bring shock waves into your life and into any system when they have challenges, but be in the position to be able to forgive and to release people. Now, when we are forgiving someone, we are not necessarily endorsing, it's not an act of endorsement of what they did. It's not trying to say it's okay for that to be done. But when we forgive someone, we are freeing them of their guilt, and we are setting them free from and ourselves from their actions. Forgiveness is a gracious act. Forgiveness is like a gift that you extend to someone. You know, they cannot demand it from you, and they cannot expect you to do it, but it's something that you are giving freely. Now, the grace that is underneath the ability in you and I to forgive is because we have received forgiveness from the Lord, which propels and enables us to be able also to forgive. Now, I understand I'm talking to someone who may be having challenges in forgiving. And forgiveness is not something that is natural to us. It's something that God empowers us and enables us to do. To be able to walk in forgiveness, you must draw on the love and in the forgiving that God has poured into you. All right. So this grace is rooted in the forgiveness that you yourself have received. So that's why Paul writes and says, remember that the Lord has forgiven you. Remember. And usually when we are aware of what we have received, to whom has been forgiven much, that person loves much. If I recognize and have a deep understanding and appreciation of what God has done for me, how God has forgiven me, it's easy to draw out of that to extend forgiveness. So I want to challenge you today that if you're having difficulties in forgiving what they did, what was done to you, whatever depth of injustice, whatever level at which you have been served wrongly, I want you to know that when you look up to God and you remember what He's done for you, you would find it in Him and in yourself now to be able to give out some forgiveness. Now, bear in mind, anytime we are forgiving, we are not necessarily nullifying or saying that the justice of God is not going to be enforced. The justice of God is never X'd out when I forgive. So be rest assured that God is God and He would take care of what He needs to take care of. But we need to be sure that we are forgiving so that we ourselves are free to move forward. Forgiveness grows in us as God's forgiveness has been released into us, releasing us with the spirit of forgiveness in every believer. That's why when Peter was asking Jesus, when Jesus was trying to get them to live in community and how to deal with offenses, you find that in Matthew 18, Peter asks, do we forgive the person 7 times when they fault us? And Jesus said, no, not 7 times, but you want to do it 70 times 7. Meaning that the bar is high, you ought to do it at a high level of frequency, and you must be determined that you are still going to forgive them, and you're going to be able to do it because God has forgiven you. So as we round up this afternoon, I want to bless you with a strength that comes from above, that you are able to release others so that you be free. Anytime you hold on to an offense, you hold on to that sin, you hold on to that hurt that happened, what you're doing is that you are courting in your own life and giving life to that which happened. Release it, let it go, and let God turn things around for your good. Joseph would say that what his brothers intended for evil, God turned it around for good. There is no pain that God cannot turn it around and bring blessing into your life. As you release them, so are you released to fulfill the purposes of God for your life. So this day, as we walk in forgiveness, may the blessings of the Lord come upon you. May the blessings of the Lord be all over you. And may you walk in the grace and in the fullness of what God has scheduled for you. God bless you, and look forward to reconnecting again and enjoy the blessings of forgiveness as the Lord encourages us to walk in. God bless you. Have a